All right, we are live. What's up, Arsenal crew? Happy Friday. Let's see here. Announcements. The Pride shirt pre-sale is going to go on until Thursday of next week. After that, they won't be available anymore because we want to make sure that we get them in for the entire month of June. So if you're interested in one of the Pride shirts, make sure that you sign up for one at the front desk. We're getting a new style of tank tops in this time. So there's a large and a small that you can try on at the desk before actually putting your order in. Also, Murph coming up, Memorial Day. We have the 9 a.m. heat. Friends and family, more than welcome. You can do it with a partner. You can do it with 4 partners if you want to. Whatever makes you happy. I think that John is also going to do a early morning session. That's tentative, not confirmed. Well, as soon as he does confirm, we'll put it on the schedule for you guys. All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of, go ahead.
I was going to say, speaking of John, if you are a morning person and you want someone to model the new tank variation, John volunteers to put it on and model it for you.
Did he coach his class in our marathon medal yet?
He is not yet. Not to my
I was like, I feel like you should coach the entire week in your marathon medal.
He does think he has a stress fracture in his foot though from the half marathon.
Oh, we all ate it about 3 times. Like you would just, I think we all ate it when we were like, if I was in front, I would just hear John or Garth go down. It would just be like, oh, and then it would just kind of be like, you all right back there? And everybody would come, and then like I would be in the back, and I ate it a couple times in the back, and same deal. They would just hear me fall and make a noise and be like, you all right, Brooks? So that makes sense. But anyway, speaking of Murph, coming up on Memorial Day, we are getting into these very hot and humid days here. So we thought this would be a good opportunity for us to talk about how to stay hydrated throughout the day, right? Making sure that we are getting, enough food in, we're recovering, right? So that we can make the most of these workouts throughout the summer, right? So let's just start with kind of, the pre-workout, right? A lot like whether you're coming in the afternoon, you're coming in the morning. Like Vince, what's your go-to for just getting some calories in before a workout?
I'm probably the wrong person to ask. I'm terrible at eating in general. But no, things that I like. I mean, I generally, fortunately, because of the way my schedule works, I work out almost always sometime between 11 o'clock and 12.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I wake up at 5:30. Most of the time, like I said, I don't have a big appetite in the morning, but my go-tos are either packing oatmeal or an RX bar before that workout. And then I'm like the king of multiple cups. So I have my coffee cup always in the morning, and then I always have my like big Nalgene bottle as well that I most of the time will finish one big bottle before it's even 11 o'clock. So I have basically 32 ounces of water plus about 16 ounces of coffee in my system.
I like it. And water is obviously the important one there, right? Especially as we do get into these hotter, humid days and we just start sweating and like losing that water, losing those electrolytes. We need to make sure that we are staying hydrated. Like, how much do you have a goal for how much water you try to get in every day?
I tracked it for a while. So, not to go like off on a complete tangent. But like one thing that the Whoop had a positive impact on my habits was my water intake. I actually used to just have my coffee cup. I didn't actually used to have a water bottle with me in the mornings. And basically I would just realize that I could go almost till noon without drinking anything but coffee. And then, you can, in your journal on a Whoop, you can answer, a million questions, but you can narrow down to some. And one that I answer is like, I estimate, I don't measure, but how many cups of water did you have that day? And when I first started answering, I realized like I hardly had any like throughout the day. And I did realize the days I was drinking more water, I felt better. My recovery was better in general. So I probably throughout the day, I kill at least 2 of those big bottles at my time throughout the gym. And then I generally have one seltzer. It's not a beer, it's a seltzer, I swear. Ginger, there it is. A day. Sometimes I'll have 2 of those and then at least kind of 3 big cups of water at the house. So
You and I are kind of on opposite end of the spectrums of like what we need as far as hydration during during a workout during the day, because like you're big, like you're a sweater, like you sweat a ton. I'm not like an enormous sweater, right? Like, but when I do sweat, like I know that it is like very salty, right? So the idea being that like when I'm sweating, like I'm sweating out a lot of electrolytes, and like that is what needs to be replaced, right? Rather than like a massive amount of water. I'm like, my water, like I can obviously need water, but I also need to be sure that I am getting electrolytes in there with the water.
yeah, and that's a really, really good point. I actually was just having this conversation with a client yesterday. Um, Again, not trying to talk shit on the Pittsburgh Marathon, but like as somebody who ran relatively competitively, I was pissed for runners on the course that were actually running the half or the full because they didn't have Gatorade on the course. They had Noon, like the NUUN tablets. That's great for exactly what you said. It's essentially salt water and it's replacing sodium and electrolytes with it. But there's not actually any calories or carbohydrates in it, which granted, replacing electrolytes is super, super important, especially like you said, for people like you. But like, I was just having this conversation and I was like, it was total bullshit that they didn't have like Gatorade on the course. Like people, when you're running half marathons, full marathons, you need carbohydrates to keep you going. So I think there is, that's something that, we're all happy to talk to with you, but that's something to consider. A workout like Murph, having a little bottle of Gatorade is probably a decent idea to have beside you. Most workouts throughout the day, a bottle of water, maybe with, a little Noon tablet or something like that would definitely suffice. But there are different times where, the kind of liquid matters.
You're 100% correct. Like, the aid stations that we were at, the half marathon trail run that we had, it was at like mile 5 and then at mile 9, they had Coca-Cola
Yeah.
just ready for you. And I was like, I need this. I need something that's going to just get into my system very quickly. Just give me some sugar, like replace everything that I've burned so I can continue to go. Right. And like, we always talk about like, okay, stay away from sugar, right? And like eat complex carbs and things like that. And like, yes, that should make up the majority of your carbohydrate intake. But there is a time and a place for you to have a fast acting, easily digestible carbohydrate. Surprise, surprise, sugar,
Yeah.
right? Especially after like a very long, hot workout. We're not talking about having like 60 grams of sugar, right? But having like 15, anywhere in that range from like 10 to 20 grams of, whether it's like Gatorade or, whatever else can make a massive difference in your ability to recover and come back prepared the next day or the day after.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Gatorade is designed to help in recovery. Gatorade is not designed to, essentially be drank throughout the day while you're sitting on your desk at work working. But especially now that we're getting into the heart of summer, the gym's going to be hot. Things you you a lot of times you need sodium, you need water, you need all the other electrolytes that are basically in Gatorade or various products that are similar to help aid in that recovery.
Yeah, and like I don't drink Gatorade because like there is a ton. Like to me, there's too much sugar in Gatorade. Now, again, depending on the length of the workout that you're doing, like you get done with Murph on Memorial Day, like go chug a Gatorade. You're gonna be fine. Your body's actually going to thank you for it. But they did come out with like what actually should be like I feel like the standard formula for Gatorade. It's called Gator Light, and it's like it has 12 grams of sugar in the entire bottle, and then it's just filled with electrolytes. And I've been crushing that recently after workouts, after jiu-jitsu, and like I feel fantastic from it. And like the sugar in it's like that 12 grams. I'm like, that's enough to replace, what I really burnt in that workout until I can get some whole foods in me.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're somebody who's like, I don't want to touch like that stuff trash. I don't want to put simple sugars into my body. That's totally fine. But like, something like packing an orange in your car, or like having a banana to drink with your water, can serve as essentially a very similar thing that's a little bit more whole foods based. So like, we're not advocating that you start drinking Gatorade post workouts by any means. There's just a time or place for all of this stuff. And again, if that's not something that you're interested in, like coconut water's a really good variation to it. Again, it's not going to have quite as many calories, but it is loaded with potassium. So that's like a really good option that you could supplement in. Like I said, having something like an orange or a banana with a big bottle of water right post workout, those are all going to be very, very similar things. It just depends how easy you want something to be ultimately.
Yeah, I feel like, we just had like, it's important to break it down and be like, okay, what do I need prior to a workout? And then what do I need after a workout as well? I feel like after the workout is like what most people have pretty dialed in, right? Because especially if you're working out in the afternoon, you might have a protein shake, but you're going to go home, you're going to make dinner, and like you're pretty much going to get that recovery. And it's like, all right, what are you eating beforehand? So like Vincent said, small piece of fruit, like maybe if you have like want a little bit of coffee, great. But again, just be careful with the heat and the humidity. Like, I would just recommend like having some sort of water with some electrolytes prior to you working out, right? Again, with a little bit of fruits, you get some simple sugar in, right? So you have a little bit of energy, and then that'll carry you through the workout. And then having whatever you normally have to recover post workout, maybe with just a little bit more water. If you're someone who sweats a lot of like who sweats a ton, right? Or if you're not somebody who sweats a ton, but your sweat is very salty, just getting a little bit more electrolytes in after that workout.
Yeah, and I always thought it was funny, like back in high school, wrestling, cutting weight and doing things the not right way, trying to just drain yourself of water weight. And it's pretty funny because you could sometimes lose 2.5 pounds essentially of water. You're not actually losing that weight, right? We all know that you can't just lose weight that easily. But then like, you drink a bottle of water after practice and you're like, oh shit, I'm already 1.5 pounds back up from where I was. So your body does lose a lot. Like your body, when you work out, you are becoming in a dehydrated state, especially because, a lot of you sip on, water throughout the workout and throughout the class, but it's not like you're sitting down and like forcing yourself to drink a whole glass of water.
Mm-hmm.
You're
And,
taking
and like during the workout, it's almost too late, right? If you're already dehydrated, you start drinking water during the workout, like you're going to feel like crap for the workout.
Yeah, and honestly, like I said, myself included, this is something that I've actually improved a lot on probably over the last year and a half. But like, if your pee is not clear, you're in a state of dehydration. Like it's pretty plain and simple. Like, like I mentioned, wrestling's a good example of this stuff. When I was up until like my junior year of high school, you could do whatever you wanted basically to lose weight
Yeah.
and make a weight class. There was no sort of restrictions. And then they put in a new certification process that, you had to be at a weight and you had to pass a hydration test at that weight for where they certify you at. And most of I coached middle school wrestling for like 5 years. So 7th, 8th, and 9th graders, and they have to take this test as well. Well, 7th, 8th, and 9th graders are not cutting weight. At least my kids were not. But like getting these 7th, 8th, and 9th graders to pass hydration tests was hard. Not because they're in a dehydrated state, but because they drink tea, pop, whatever else, pretty much anything but water. And so like they just walk around in a naturally dehydrated state. And, I think a lot of us do as well. If we're not aware of our water intake or we're not concentrating on it, you probably are walking around in a slight dehydration state to begin with.
And being dehydrated is a massive problem. Like we don't realize how much it actually affects, like, let alone our performance in the gym, but just like your cognitive ability at work, right? Or your energy levels. when you're sitting at work. I mean, it massively affects everything that we do.
Yeah. So, again, I think the easiest thing that you can do to start working on hydration is when you wake up in the morning, first thing you should do is drink a glass of water. It's pretty simple. Most of us don't, hopefully most of us
and
don't
throw
wake
a little
up.
salt in there, just a little bit
Yeah.
of salt.
Yeah. Again, that's an easy habit you can fix. Another like habit we mentioned based around workouts, like again, have a glass before you work out and a glass after you work out. So we're already, we just not rocket science. It's not, pulling teeth, but we just added 3 cups of water to your diet relatively easily, um, without too much effort. So I think that's like the biggest thing, as far as hydration goes, just being aware of it.
Yes.
I wasn't like I personally just wasn't aware of it, you
Yeah.
know, uh, previously. So as soon as you become aware and you're consciously thinking about it, it's a pretty easy habit to fix.
Yeah, and even just as easy as like if you are going to work out in the afternoon, set an alarm in your phone 90 minutes before your workout. Just say, hey, drink some water. So that
Yeah.
again, when you come to the gym, like your body is in the state it needs to be in for you to get the most out of that workout.
Yeah, and like Brooks said, something I used to do a lot when I ran, was just fill like a shaker bottle with water and then salt and like lemon and limes, just squeeze them into your
Yep.
water, and it's essentially an electrolyte beverage at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like really, really easy.
So again, we were talking about Gatorade early, but it's not about that. It's just about being aware and getting those things into your system.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So as we go through these hotter months, right, just make sure you're thinking about it. Right. If you're getting in your car and you're like, oh man, it's really hot. Like just think about like when was the last time that I had some water? Right. And
Yeah.
just if you don't have anything on, you just find a gas station real quick. If you're a couple minutes late for the workout because you pulled over to get some water or a Gatorade or something before coming to the gym on a 90-degree day with 100% humidity, we're going to forgive you. It'll be okay.
Yeah. The other thing, and again, this is by no means being judgmental, but we are getting into summer. It is going to be nice. We all are going to start doing things. If you consume a large amount of alcohol, you're going to be put into a dehydrated state.
I feel judged.
So just being aware of that. Again, if you go out and you have some drinks on a Friday night and you come in for Saturday morning class and it's really, really hot, it's even more important than on a daily basis to make sure that you're drinking, some fluid before you get to the gym, because otherwise we've all been there where like you're going to feel like you got hit by a truck as soon as you start moving.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So again, just something to keep in mind as we go through these hotter months here. Anything else you want to cover, Vince?
I don't think so. I think that's a good, again, it is getting hot. Yeah. Wipe up your sweat puddles if you sweat like me. Clean your equipment first, and then before you put the towel in the bin, try to wipe up a little bit of your sweat puddles.
Go back and wipe those floors down. Speaking of which, I'm off to the gym to clean the floors before 4:30 class.
Oh, beautiful.
Excellent. All right, guys. Have a great weekend. If we do not see you, if you have any questions, you guys know where to find us. We'll see you later.
Have a good one, guys.